What up, y'all? What up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's a motherfucking Strong Dad panel. I'm the host of Strong Dad. It's my co-host Chad from the Black White Dad podcast. Down in the bottom, we got Duke Lucas and Cannon Hotep. How y'all fellas doing?
Salute, what's the
Good.
deal?
Good. What's up, man? How y'all? Shit.
I'm just getting ready for White History Month.
White History Month.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. The hell with Goldstein July. There's no such thing. I'm not taking it.
You trying to take it from Goldstein?
No, he's trying to take it from me and Jesse Lee Peterson. It is White History Month tomorrow. Like, get off us. Come on now.
We shall see who wins the battle. Will it be White History Month or Goldstein July? My money's on Goldstein.
Yeah. All right.
My money's on Goldstein. There's not enough strong white men left in this world, so how are we gonna have White History Month? You're the only one left, Chad. You and Brody.
I'm just gonna hit the Jesse Lee Peterson beacon. You'll see like the Batman signal, the bat signal.
Yeah.
The JLP signal is gonna go up.
We just found out George Washington was black, so you all out.
That's right. All the forefathers are black.
Y'all saw the thing when after, like, was it after Willie Mays died, or I don't remember when it was, but somehow people came up with they started just like flooding the timeline with Babe Ruth black history stuff and everything, and I was just like, okay, all right. So it used to be Babe Ruth ain't shit because he, and then it's like, oh, well, nope. Now he's black, so he's great again. All right,
that's right.
They made Babe Ruth great again. I like it.
That's right. We built this country and we set the records. There might not even be any white forefathers. Real talk.
All of a sudden Thomas Jefferson will be like, well, actually,
they all swarthy.
All right. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. So get us kicked off here.
So this is the Strong Dad panel. As everybody knows, this is the last day of Strong Dad June. Strong Dad June was something we created last year to essentially highlight and keep the eyes on fatherhood and leading your community as men. So here we are, the second year in a row for Strong Dad June, last day. And we're going to just do this little Strong Dad panel. I figured it'd be nice to kind of ask a couple questions to some of the dads and we can get some input. And then, when we share this later, maybe we'll get some more input. But the whole purpose really is to just bring this all to a nice close. So without further ado, we're going to have a few questions for everybody and we'll get right into it. First question. What defines a father outside of biology? What I mean by that, fellas, is outside of just being the man who, helped bring a child into the world. To you, what defines a father? So we'll start with let's start with Duke. You know what I'm saying, and then we'll move our way up to Chad.
All right. Well, coming off the bat, let's see. I would say it's about like you're given certain roles as a man. Everybody knows the whole protect and provide. But I also think not only should you be willing to protect and provide, I mean, like making sacrifices for your family, whether there's a knock at the door and someone, not a knock at the door. You just hear something downstairs and you go downstairs to check it out. But also, if you got to put a few out to pay the bills, you're willing to do that without the grumbling. But I want also to be able. You also need to be able to spend time with your family, like not because a lot of guys they think, oh, I paid the bills, I'm good. Like my wife should be happy, my kids should be happy. But no, they also need your time and your presence, and not just being there physically, but mentally. Because I know, in this day and age, we get consumed with our telephones and whether it's social media or even work at home. We need to be there for our kids mentally. If they want to show you something like a drawing or something something they did at school, check it out. Give them some feedback. Just stuff like that. I think that's a good start.
Cannon, what about you?
Yeah. So, hold on. There we go. So, outside of biology, what makes a father or what defines a father is leadership, right? You got to be the leader of the house. You got to be the head of the household. your wife should be deferring to you and making sure that she's on your page when it comes to the discipline of the kids and the goings on of the household. Being there is it take anybody can be a father, I guess you could say, but it not everybody can be a dad. You know what I mean? So being there for your kids, whether it's for their sports or they're having a tough go at life with some issues maybe at school or whatever, you got to be there for them. It's not enough to just be in the background like Disney wants us to be. Because Disney be wanting us to be the dumbfounded father in the background, go, and then they go into the mother running the house. You have to be the leader. You have to be the vocal one in the house. You have to be the one that motivates the family. You have to be the one that encourages your kids. That's what defines a father outside of biology. It's not enough to just shoot your sperm up in a woman and then she has your progeny. You got to be there to raise them, to the best of your abilities. So when they become an adult, they don't depart or they don't go, like the Bible says, train a child up the way they should go and they will not depart. You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
Cool. Chad?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to follow up after pretty much everything's been said already. But like, if I could break it down into some words that all kind of start the same, it's to protect, to provide, to pray, and to be present. And all those things kind of end up in like you're there to build. You're there to lead by example. It's not just leadership by do as I say, but it's most of the time your actions are going to be a much greater impact in terms of your leadership than the words that are coming out of your mouth. And I think it's real easy to get up here and say all this stuff and to just pretend like I do a great job of this, but I got to be honest. Like, there's been some failures and I've had to clean up some messes. And then I'm still working on some of that stuff myself. And so I think the final PR would be progress, to continue to improve on yourself and to make progress so that you can improve that leadership, improve the degree to which you protect and provide and are present and are like a spiritual leader through your own prayer. So that's the way I would sum it up.
Cool. So pretty much what I'm getting is that with everybody's explanation combined, really what we're saying is that the definition of a father is a shepherd and a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're not just the teacher. And I would even probably add that you're also a student the entire time, because you are learning the processes of being this leader, this shepherd. And so without falling and getting back up, without learning lessons and mistakes, you can't really improve upon that. I mean, as a father of just one child, I can only say that from belief, but I would go ahead and say, or Chad, you have more than one child.
Yeah.
Duke, you as well. You got more than one child. Cannon, you just got a daughter?
I got two. Got a son and a daughter.
Two?
Yeah.
Right. So y'all all got more kids. So tell me, before we get into the next question, how many lessons do you feel like you learned from the first to the second?
A lot from the first to the second. The second was like autopilot. The first one was like, it's a crash course. You learn about every mistake that you made. You know what I mean? From, I don't know, not tying them down in the high chair and they want to skydive to, potty training and stuff like that. It took a lot of patience with the first kid.
Okay.
It's a lot of patience and a lot of tentativeness with the first kid. And then the second kid's kind of autopilot because you know what you did with the first kid. But like my daughter, she's 15 now. So it's a lot of firsts with her still to this day. So now, like Friday, I took her, she got a car. She ain't got a license yet. I took her driving around the neighborhood just to get her, used to it, just because it's time to start now, because that insurance going to look real crazy come the time I got to put her on it and stuff like that. She got a job. So I'm trying to teach her to be smart with her money. I let her hang herself a few times. Like, oh, you spent all your money at the mall. Now you don't got enough for lunch for work for the week, just those tough lessons that, it's a lot of firsts with her. So, and then my son, he's learning from his sister. So it makes it a little easier. You know what I mean? But having a son with autism, is also a challenge as well, because he's super smart, but he's on that like what's it called? Like he doesn't understand nuance like that. He's, well, Dad, how come nobody wants to do this and that? I'm like, well, Hunter, you gotta learn how to read the room. If they don't want to talk, then you can't just talk the head off and stuff like that. So I'm trying to teach him how to be, a little man, and more sociable, but also how to reel it in a little bit. So with both kids it's like it's some challenges there. I got an emotional 15-year-old and then I got a son who can't read the room. So it's tough, but but if you got enough love and patience, it works itself out.
Let me tell you, with that daughter, you're not out of the woods for a while. Mine's 21, and it's still, I'm like, man, I don't know when I'm gonna be done with the terrible teens. It's still like, just, I don't know. Women are emotional and they're very demanding, and I love my daughter. She's a sweetheart, but she's also like a demanding little pain in the ass sometimes. So I'm just gonna be straight blunt with you. The attitude, oh my god, and the way she treats her mom, and I gotta like check that. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and it doesn't stop. It's been like since she was 9, and she's 21 now, and it's like, my god, you've been a teenager for like 20 years almost. Right. So anyway, yeah, but I think you learn stuff from one to the other, but then there's stuff that you cannot possibly learn from one to the other, because they're all different. They're all unique. They have their own little idiosyncrasies and personalities that, look, man, there's a reason why there's not like this big book on like, here's how you parent. It's because it's like 99% trial and error. Yeah. You're just trying shit just to see if this will work with this little human being that responds in unpredictable ways to stimuli. And you got to figure out which things hit the mark and which things are not going to resonate at all, and start doing more of the things that work and less of the things that don't. Even though sometimes the things that don't are the things that come natural to you. Like, well, this is what I would respond to. Why aren't you responding to this? And it don't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We all girl dads here.
Yeah.
I mean, I speak for myself. There was a threshold of nurturing that I had to overcome in order to be better. Am I the only one who had to experience that, or what was your experience like with that? Dude, what's up with you?
Yeah, similar, because I thought, my first kid is a boy, and he's pretty, calm, quiet. He's like me. He's really like me. I'm only extroverted online, and in real life, I'm more, to myself. I just have my smaller group of friends, and I thought, for some reason, oh, she's gonna be just like that. We've raised one. This one's gonna be just the same. But we ended up being a girl, and she has her own attitude. She's a bit of a diva. She's sweet. She's very sweet. She's caring. But there were moments when she was, from the terrible 2s to like maybe 4 or 5, where anytime she didn't get away, it was just crying, and it's like, all right, I can't spank her. Well, I can, but I like, that ain't doing nothing. But and so I'm trying to figure out. I was like, you can't see, with my son, I could raise my voice, and he straightens up. It's just like, okay, he raised voice. But her, if I raise my voice and yell, she shuts down. So I'm like, crap, I can't do that. So if you ever see me talking to my daughter, even when she's out of pocket, I have to do it more calm and collected. Because if I don't, she shuts down. She has this look on her face, like, maybe not of sadness, but
like you broke her.
Yeah, like I broke her, and so I can't do that. So
yeah, like with me, I don't care about that face. She used to get me with it, but her ass is 15 now, and she tried all of that. That is just too. I think, yo, cut it out. Yeah. I told you this has to be done. If this ain't done, this ain't happening. Period. And then she suck it all, and then she get it done. And then what I will do though, is after the fact, I'll go to her and I'll be like, look, this is why I'm like this with you. The world ain't gonna care about how you feel and you crying because you need a mental moment because your head hurt because you don't want to do the dishes. You know, the world ain't gonna care about why you were late. The world ain't gonna care that you know why you didn't come to you didn't go to school because you was too tired from the night. No, the world don't care about that.
That's right.
You know, I said the only people that care about your feelings is me and your mother, and we don't really care all that much either when it comes to this stuff. When there's too many excuses.
Well, or you at least you can tell when they're on some bullshit, right?
Yeah, she's always
like, feelings is one thing, but like manipulating that shit so that you can get away with stuff is a different thing.
I can tell when she's going through something, and I can tell when she bullshitting me because she's just trying to get an emotional response. So I'll go and I'll tell her after the fact, like, yo, the reason why I didn't get your hair done is because you didn't clean your room. The reason why I didn't let you go to that party is because I told you to clean the kitchen and you didn't. You left a pot on the and I hate to be petty like that, but you know, after a while, you got to be petty. Like you left that one pot out. I can't let you go. I told you clean the kitchen. That pot wasn't clean. You can't go. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm getting you ready for life, sweetheart. Your boss ain't gonna care if your job was halfway done or half-assed done. You know, I said, so I can't let you. I can't in good conscience let you get away with murder in this house and think that shit's gonna fly in the real world when you're not here.
So do you find that there's a different person that like interacts with the outside world? Because it's funny that you say that about like the real world doesn't care about it. Like my kids totally get that. Like my sons will be at basketball practice at 5 o'clock in the morning without me doing anything to help wake them up.
Right.
My daughter will be at the gym she's a trainer. She'll be at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I need you to like pick your laundry up and put, that's just
it's a whole different animal.
They got a whole different set of rules when they're dealing with other people than when they're at home. When they're at home, they're just like,
yes, my daughter at somebody else's house. She up before the alarm clock. She done cleaned up her area. She ready to go. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. She all showered up. Come home. Zoe, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go. Zoe, it's 6:30. Why you still in the bed? I'm late to work. I'm gonna hurt you. You know, you missed the bus. You ain't. I don't know how you get in school because I gotta go to work.
I'm taking
all right, so I'm not alone. I'm
taking notes right now.
Yeah, they perfect little angels when the other people's house. You know,
I'm taking notes right now.
When they home, they think they can get away with it, and I can't let that happen. I can't let that happen, especially because she's 15. And my son's taking notes now, but he be instigating. And I'm like, yo, So, but yeah, I mean, it's like you said, there's no Dr. Lipschitz. Remember Dr. Lipschitz offered?
Rugrats.
Lipschitz book to parenting. It's all it's all on the fly, bro. It's all on the fly, and trying to do it like our parents did. Some aspects work, and then some aspects don't. You know what I mean? So, and I'm learning that all the time. Okay. You know, like I'm trying not to be so tough, but at the same time, like, nope, I see why my mother did that. You know, because they don't treat my parents like that. Yeah, my parents say something one time, it's okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You know,
grandparent privilege.
My mama switched up. She ain't as mean. Well, I wouldn't call her mean. She ain't as stern with them as she is with me. Like the other day, we were over there with the kids, and my daughter, I can't remember exactly what she said. My mama was like, "Oh, that's all right. You just do whatever you want to do." I was like, whoa, no, heck, no, you can't do whatever you want because I know you didn't tell me that, and so why can she do it? And she was like, "Yeah, you right." And I was like, "Man, this is a bull."
Right, that's how my father is. He'll get my daughter anything she wants. Why didn't you get Zoe hair done? I said, Dad, her room ain't clean. And why am I still answering to you? You know,
no shit. Look, I'm the oldest one here. I'm 50, and I still get my parents talking to me like they parenting me still. Right. I'm like, I got this. Right. I'm a grown ass man. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing. Like,
now, to their credit, they'd be like, "Oh, is that right, Zoe? Is that right, Hunter? You didn't do that?"
Yeah.
Well, your father said your room need to be clean. I'm going to FaceTime you at 6 o'clock tonight. If that room ain't clean, you got problems with me too. You know, so that, you know, that's another good aspect of, you know, your village where everybody's on page with, you know, everybody's on par with each other and raising the kids. You know what I mean? Where nobody's going behind somebody else's back to do something. Well, you know, no. These kids need to know they can't be. Well, Dad said no, so I'm gonna go ask Mom. Well, Mom said no, I'm gonna go ask Grandma. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's definitely you in for it, yo, because your daughter, what, like 2?
She'll be 3 in a couple months here in August. I'm the young dad. I'm the young dad in the panel, y'all.
Yeah.
But I'm also like what Deke was saying too, where Deke was like, he don't want to yell at her and he don't want to spank her. I was along the lines of that too. Like, I don't want my daughter to know a man hitting her. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now with my daughter, if I raise my voice or whatever, she straighten up. So the disciplinary actions, as far as like, you know, spankings and stuff, I left it on my wife. You know what I mean? And then my son,
I agree with that.
Yeah, my son, I just gotta look at him. He's like, I do something wrong, you know. So yeah. So
I still remember the first time my dad punched me in the chest. Shut me right up.
Hey, I got hit in the chest too. When you fall asleep in church, oh, I remember he hit my brother real bad. My brother fell asleep. He just turned around. Boom, cause he was in the balcony. He turned around. Boom, hit him. My brother, you just seen his eyes start watering up.
I had to fight before. I had to fight him in a tournament. And I said, I'll never do that again. I thought I was doing taekwondo, and they put me and him against each other. I won, but I ain't feel like I won.
I bowed up points. I bowed up on my dad one time. I was in high school, and I bowed up on him. I don't know if I was really about to take a swing, but like I looked like I was about to, and he just looked at me. He goes, "You better make sure you kill me." And I was like, all right, I got you. Never mind. I'm not ready to kill you. And I know what that means. That means that you can finish me off when you come to, even if I knock you out. Like,
I ended up to fight him, and I won by points, but I hurt my braces was imprinted in my mouthpiece. He had caught me. I threw a kick, he blocked it, my shins was hurting. Like, I tried to block his punches, my forearms and everything was hurting so big. My father, you know, he was a bodybuilder and a strongman. So like every blow even though I blocked, it hurt. And then I caught him in his chest real good. Yeah. And I started feeling myself a little bit after that because I needed one more point to win. And he just came with some melee. Bow! He caught me and I ate it. But my mouthpiece, I took my mouthpiece out. My lips was all busted up. My mouthpiece had my braces imprinted in it. And like I got the last point, but like I was nursing my wounds for a couple of days after that. I said, "Yeah, I'm not fighting."
This is why I bodybuild.
He was throwing heavy
for that day.
For that day,
I'm trying to lay a nigga. I'm trying to lay him out.
Like, he had to catch me from here on out. I ain't squaring up with him. Never. He about to be 60, and I still wouldn't square up with him. Sure,
that's what's up.
The same with my dad, because my dad was in the military, and so every once in a while, me and my brother, we get together. We figure, all right, we got to get like one good slam out of. We never did, and we're 30. I'm 36, my brother 35. And I remember one time we were teenagers. You know, playing football, you get muscle on you. I was like, all right, we can take him, and I was like, all right, he's gonna slam me. So while he's getting my brother, I figured I could get back up and jump back on him and grab him. But he slammed me, and by the time like I come to and I get like on my hands and knees, I just felt a weight. Boom! He done already slammed my brother on my back, and then he grabbed. He did something because the pressure points. He grabbed my hand, and I'm screaming, and then I was like, all right, this is the last time I'm fooling with it. Like you said, he's 50 something now. I don't even think he'd have to be in a wheelchair before I decide. All right, I'm ready to try him.
Yeah, my dad, he's sick, and he's still winning jiu-jitsu competitions.
Shoot,
he has a muscle wasting disease, and he's still winning jiu-jitsu competitions right now at 50.
Shout out.
So I'm not messing with. He want me to come in there. I need somebody my size to roll around with. I said, well, it ain't gonna be me, nigga. I'm not. I said, I'm done with my jiu-jitsu days. I'm over it. So I don't know though. I did tell him I might give it a shot. I might come back in there.
Y'all heard it. Don't mess with that.
Yeah, I did jiu-jitsu back in my 20s, like when I was trying to fight. But like, I'm not there, but my son wanted to try it. So I may just jump in. That's another thing about being a father, is leading by example. My son wants to go. He's like, Papa, do jiu-jitsu. I want to do jiu-jitsu too. I said, all right, well, maybe we can do it together. I'll sign him up. I'll go with him, and we can all do it as a family. Three generations doing jiu-jitsu together. So
there you go.
That's another thing about leading by example, guys. My son, he want to play football, and he knows that he feels like, I'm not going to be as good as you, Dad. And I say, you never know. You just got to train. So I'll be outside. We train. We throw the football and stuff. He getting better. We're working on the tackling aspect. And I just told him to go out there and have fun. As long as you have fun and you try, I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get this next question down on the pipeline. Do you feel a level of responsibility for other children in the world outside of your own? So it's pretty straightforward. Let's start with you, Chad, and then we'll go down Cannon and Duke.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I thought about this one. I think it's this is an easy question to answer as long as you put it in the proper perspective. Yes, absolutely, but only after I have made sure that I'm doing the things that I need to do to make sure that my children are taken care of. Because if everyone is doing that first, then there aren't nearly as many, if any at all, other children to worry about being responsible for. The reason why we're worried about being responsible for other people's children is because some people aren't taking care of their own children.
Right.
And I'm not about to be one of them so that I can go try to take care of the rest of the world and leave my kids in the lurch. So I think that's the priorities. Just start small and local, right where you are, and then to the extent that you have that on lock, then you can start to kind of branch out.
Okay, all right. Ken?
Yeah, so I agree. And as far as being responsible for other children outside of my children, when it comes to like sports and stuff like that, I assist with like football and stuff like that. And a lot of those kids whose dads aren't there, their mom signed them up, but the father is nowhere to be found. I feel some sort of responsibility for them, because they're out there, they're trying, they don't have somebody to help them out, after the fact or whatever. So I kind of take pride in that, helping kids out that need it where their dad's not there. Not trying to be their dad. I'm not trying to hit on their mom. I'm not trying to do that. I just, I genuinely am just looking like that kid got some potential and he just needs some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and my dad did that. My dad still does that. Whether it's his employees, that work for him, or my stepbrother and sister, or just any kid that he come in contact with that just seemed like he'll stop a kid on out, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a couple of kids that he caught stealing from around the office. They just out there just doing whatever. He kind of mentors to him now. You know what I mean? And they respect him and they come and ask him for help. They ask him for advice. They might ask him for a few bucks every so often, but he's there and he's trying to be that example for them. Like, yo, you ain't got to be out here doing this. So like, I think that if you can help it, try to mentor to another kid that's not your kid. Maybe it's one of your kid's friends, who might be having a rough go of it at home, or the parents not around enough to, help them out, or the father's not in the house. It goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree, and but I won't. I struggle with it because like I'll make it personal. My mom, she keeps asking me to. She's like, you need to mentor your nephew because he keeps getting in trouble, and I'm one like I don't. In my head, I'm like, shoot, I'm trying to figure out the right way to mentor my own kids, correctly. Like
Mm-hmm.
like I don't have it all together, and I feel bad trying to lecture somebody else before I get it all. Well, not get it all together, but I feel confident in my level of I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I don't feel at this point I'm at a level where I'm fit to mentor anybody. And then I also struggle with like if I mentor this person, I'm willing to talk to young people about anything, give them life advice. I've done that. But then I wonder, I'm like, darn it, am I really making an impact if I sit here for 20, 30 minutes and give them, the wisdom I have, and then they go back home and they're surrounded by the same
Mm-hmm.
thing? It's like,
Yeah.
how much work have I really done? And it's like, I know I'm not built to be a King Randall. Like that's not my expertise. That's not what's been placed on my heart. So I'm just wondering, like, what impact could I make? That's kind of like why I don't mind going on podcasts because this seems to be the new, thing. And I'm like, maybe I can make a change or make a difference doing stuff like this because everybody's on freaking YouTube. YouTube's the new TV.
Yeah.
You're
You
muted.
muted, Trey.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say I see that burden of responsibility that you feel is coming your way, and not being ready to step up to it. I understand what that's like, absolutely. As far as Duke is concerned.
Yeah.
Mm.
myself. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's weird. I think my son might actually have a heart for it because I don't like. It's weird. One day he came to me. He said, I want to." I'm trying to quote him correctly. He's like, "I want to take." He said, "I want to feed all the black babies in the world." And I was like, "What?" First, I'm like, "Where did that come from?" I don't know why he chose black babies, but that's what he chose. But I just thought that was a pretty cool notion for a 10-year-old to come up with. And I feel like if God put that on his heart, I'm gonna nurture that, to the best of my ability.
Amen. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm a lot like your son in that aspect. I'm a serial advice giver. I have been that way for a really long time. I've been skateboarding for decades now, and everybody at the skate park, all the younger ones, younger than me, still to this day, as grown men, some with whole families, will message me for advice, for help, and they've been doing that forever. It's been something I guess I was just born to do that, and to try to get better at that. So I understand your son might be one of those people, and I would say the best thing to do is to just foster that, show him how to be there for himself, so that if he really wants to take something like that on, it becomes something easier for him to do, easier to learn these lessons. Because if you don't have someone who is telling you, hey, focus on yourself too, then you can pour into everybody else and forget about you completely, which is something also that I've done.
Yeah. Real quick, check this out. This is my father. He just sent me this like a minute ago. Yeah, that's him today.
Yeah, that's right. Hey.
He sent these pictures as a reminder, like, son, you still can't take me.
Oh, shoot. Hang on. There we go. He like flipped this around when I pulled back.
That's wild.
That's crazy. Dang.
Now we know why you're overhead pressing a fucking BMW.
Right. BMW shit. It's like a BMW Sprinter van.
Yeah. You overhead pressing. You said 315 or something like that?
Yeah, my best press was a 315 straight.
This dude out here, man.
My best push press was 385, something like that.
That's out of line, man.
Respect, though. Respect. I tip my cap to you.
That's what's up.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I just gotta get back to it.
I do that. I do 385 too. It's 385 grams.
I'm working my way up there. I think I'm like at 275 push press right now, something like that.
Nice.
This is hard.
Nice.
It's hard.
Yeah. And the reason I had to go is because of Olympic weightlifting, because of the clean and jerk. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and you built like a brick house. So
yeah,
I'm built like a grasshopper. Pushing that kind of weight is kind of.
I might actually look like Aaron Donald coming into the Hotel Con. We'll see.
There you go.
I hope so, man.
Like low key, like you could. Have you ever worn that costume for Halloween? Because I think it would suit you. Like that's actually a pretty good comp. You and Aaron Donald.
Every week I get somebody like, hey, you look like Aaron Donald. Dad started that shit at Hotel Con a few years back. Now I hear it all the time.
Oh, I can't wait for Hotep Con. I'm gonna be there this time, y'all.
Yeah, that's what you said last time. I'll see it when I see it.
First of all, the first time I was being surprised with the birth of my daughter. Had to sit that one out.
That's fine.
Second time was my first time competing on stage, and I was, you know what I'm saying? You got to do for yourself. But this time around, I'm gonna be competing before the show, which is good because I'm gonna come to Hotep Con looking jacked still.
Be shredded, yeah.
yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm under 300 now, so we get there. Let me get there. So,
okay.
Let me get the track.
Hey man, how you gonna break the zip line in Miami?
I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about. I did tell you about that story. That was yo.
Breaking zip lines.
Yeah, we was so at Hotel Con. I went down to the old strip, right? I guess that's what they call it. And they got a zip line that's supposed to span the whole thing.
It goes across the people.
Yeah. So I get on the zip line, right? First off, it was a cap at 300 pounds. I was 315. The girl looked at me and was like, "You good?" So I was like, "All right, cool." I've been drinking a little bit, so I get on the zip line, y'all, and they drop the floor from under us, and we start moving. And I start moving. You ever seen Christmas Vacation when Clark Griswold polished the board? And no, son, I hit like Mach 10. I'm gone. I don't see nobody no more. I'm moving so fast that they try to hit the brake for me, and I went straight through the brake. Bow, and I backstop. Boom, and then I bounced all the way back out into the middle of the strip, and I was just hanging there, laughing my ass off.
No, that's a Final Destination shit.
Then, like 15 seconds later, here come everybody else.
Yeah.
And the girl finally get me through. They pumped me forward, and the girl like came in a little too hot, didn't you? I was like, I don't know if that's the word. I mean, I was moving. And I laughed so hard because people looking up at me, because you could hear me hit the backstop. Boom, and I bounced right back out. People looking up, and I'm just laughing. I thought it was the funniest shit in the world. I was happy I ain't died. Oh man,
not me. No, not me. I'll keep my feet on the ground. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the white people activities, man.
Facts, man.
Only
white people activity.
I was drinking white people drinks.
Kenna was up there with a White Claw on a Ziploc.
y'all already know my theory about white people activities. It's all white people activities until it becomes cool, and then it's the ancient Egyptians invented it 4,000 years ago.
That's right.
And we culturally appropriated
here,
it.
Boy.
That's right.
My wife would get mad at me. We go to I went to a Korean barbecue. We took some friends out to Korean barbecue, and we get in there's nothing but black folks. I said, "Oh Lord, the blacks done found out." And she just
close down. Then anybody close down. Everybody kill another one.
You already know the minute you see a security guard at night at a food establishment, you already know this is not that type of time. I'm gonna go ahead and go home.
That's right. That's right.
My son's girlfriend, she's black. She lost her wallet at like a main event or something like that, and she was just like, "Do you see the people that were there?" She's like, "I don't." She's like, "I gotta cancel everything. There's no way anybody's returning." I'm like, "Oh my god."
She ain't lying though. It depends. It definitely depends. Like I said, if I see security guard or a bouncer at a Fridays, nope, not going to Fridays. I'm gonna go down the street where it's safe. That's all I'm saying.
I be telling my wife that all the time. I be like, "There bunch of niggas in here. We need to go."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Man, why do we sound like the black folks sound the most racist against black
It's the truth though. Matter of fact, the place that I took you and your wife that day, that's like the safe spot. That's the spot I go to where I know ain't nothing ever going down in there. You know what I mean? If I go down Rice Turn Road some more where that Fridays is, nope, I'm straight. Nope.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. Let's get the next topic in. Ooh. Does a father deserve credit? Does a good father deserve credit? Now, before y'all go, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go ahead and say the fuck you don't, nigga. Now, y'all go.
Well, I will vehemently disagree. I will say yes, a good father definitely deserves credit, but you're not gonna get it, so don't expect that shit. So just deal with it.
Right.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, do a good father deserve some credit? Yes, I think good fathers do deserve credit, but you shouldn't look for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I don't do anything to get credit from my wife or my kids. I do it because it's my responsibility. Period. Full stop. Even with the kids that aren't my kids, you know what I mean? Like the little kids on the football team or a little kid in the neighborhood. You know, my bike got a flat or my chain pop. I do it because, you know, it's just in me to do it. I'm not looking for the kids to say thank you. No, it's just what it is. You know, you do it for the satisfaction, seeing a smile on your kid's face and you know, smile on your wife's face or another kid's face. That's it. And, you know, if you get credit for it, then all good. If you don't, then it's all good. You did what you're supposed to do.
Only credit you deserve is to go buy some shit on consignment or something. That's all this. Just go get the mortgage taken care of. That's the credit that I'm worried about. Credit score. Keep that shit over 800. Let's go.
That's the credit.
When I first heard the question, I was thinking about from who. I was like, who do you deserve credit from? And I don't think anybody's opinion. Well, not anybody's opinion. That's a little too strong. But like outside of your household, then it shouldn't even like matter. And don't go like I don't go seeking credit. Like I remember one time just giving a homeless man my shoes. I didn't think nothing about it. He just didn't have any shoes on. I gave him some shoes. And I got in the car. My wife was like, "Where your shoes at?" I was like, "Oh, I just gave them to that guy. I didn't, I just said to flip him." And then we get home, and then there's a Facebook post and a bunch of likes. I'm looking, and my wife had made, while we were headed home, my wife made a post about it, giving me praise. And I wasn't looking for any praise, like, but her word means a lot to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And me not having to seek it, that was pretty dope. So like, I respect that type, but I'm never gonna like seek it. Like, some people they want the praise, and praise is nice, but like, if you go seeking it, and when it doesn't show up, it'll crush you. So I would say, yeah, you deserve it, but don't, like y'all said, yeah, you deserve it, but don't expect it. And when you get it, tell the people who gave it to you credit. I mean, tell the people who gave it to you thank you. Be thankful for it. And yeah, I would say that's about it. I don't know.
Yeah, my wife, she does the same thing. She'll I'll find randomly that she's posted something about me doing stuff, and just trying to, because she feels the importance of receiving praise from the world and passing it on to me. And even though I don't ask for that, I definitely do appreciate that. But definitely for me, the credit is what you get at home, what your children seeing you, what your own parents seeing you, when your parents congratulate you on doing a good job, I kind of see that. I do take that kind of credit because they were my parents, right? And so they're kind of congratulating themselves a little bit, but in a way it's like, it's like a fellow athlete, right? It's like like Kobe giving props to another basketball player on the field. You know what I'm saying? You're like, he's like, you did good out there. I do appreciate that, but I don't think that doing it for that is something that is even in the Father's wheelhouse. We should just be doing it to do it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, and
that's fact.
I think
definitely didn't get no appreciation for fixing the air conditioner out this bitch. 2 a.m. learning HVAC. I figured out I ain't get a thank you, Dad, or nothing. They just came in talking about they hungry.
Oh, so I know that feeling. That's the Wi-Fi is not working. We have the worst Wi-Fi. We have the worst internet. Or I get, it's all that, But then when I fix it, crickets. Just like, okay, well, stuff's back to normal now.
That's the reward. The silence.
I'm back to being able to stream a 4K movie in 3 different rooms. Okay, all right. So now we don't have the shittiest internet. Okay, all right, cool. I guess anything, nothing, no. All right, go about your business, people. But I will say this: like, I think when you're not looking for it, you're not expecting it, you're not like going out and seeking it, and you're not doing this stuff with that as a means to that end, right? Like, you're doing what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to do it, and anything that comes out of that in the form of accolades is just like, oh, all right, cool. Well, I'm more appreciative of like the fact that they recognize, so that maybe it's like, this is for my sons especially, like, this is what you need to be starting to model after, to try to do when you're a dad, or for my daughter to see, like, this is what you need to be looking for in a husband, that kind of thing. But my son, when he played his last basketball game, like, it was, it's out of town. It was, they were in the state semifinals. So it was like 2 hours away from home in a big college gym and everything. And I had work out in that area. So I stayed out there overnight. Well, the team all rode the bus home and everything. And so, like, I talked to my son a little bit about, how he was doing, because they hung out at the locker room for like 3 hours after the game, because it was emotional for him. Like, you never putting that uniform on again. Like, it's just a bunch of stuff that goes on with that. His best friends, a bunch of seniors on the team and all that. Well, about 11 o'clock that night, I just get this text, and it's about like this long. And it's just like him, like, thanking me for all the things that I did to help him, like, grow as a basketball player, and like, as an athlete and like a leader and all that. Anyway, it's just one of those things where, like, it came out of nowhere, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I had to like stop reading it like 4 times. So I was like about to cry like a baby, man. Like, it was that shit hit me. but it's that kind of thing where like you're not expecting it. You don't have any reason to expect it, and it just comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, okay, damn, I guess I'm doing something right, but I don't know, like I was just doing what I felt like needed to be done at the time. I wasn't like thinking like, oh yeah, look at me. It ain't about that.
Right. Yeah, that I take care of my kids thing. That is like, what else are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Want a cookie?
Yeah, facts.
That's why I get tired of some of the guys when they were like, well, I pay child support. Like and I ain't knocking child support, but like it's more to it than just money that goes into being a good dad. Like, like I said earlier, like they need you there. Like
presence.
Because like the gifts and stuff are fine, but like anybody who knows kids, like, yeah, they like toys, but you could give them a box and they're gonna play with it just the same.
Especially if you play with it with them, you build a fort with that box and like play like some kind of little war game or something like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that, like, some of the coolest memories that we have are just like us going hiking in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's like they still have like the stick that they walked with when we were hiking in the woods.
That's right.
Some free shit.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's get this next question up.
All right.
As a father, how do you feel a man should behave in public? Who want to take this first?
I'll take it. I mean, I guess it's all like the way I'll just put the way I act in public. I'm cool, calm, collected. I'm stoic. I'm not, over the top. I'm not, docile, but I move with confidence and I move with confidence and with personality, so my kids can see how you're supposed to interact in public with, strangers or, peers. So I think a man should be a little more stoic and not so over the top. Like I see dads that they just do too much in the street. They do way too much in the street. It's almost borderline catty. You know what I mean? When it's just be like, yo, move like a ninja. Silent. You get what you get done, and then you go home. There's no need to be out here trying to look at me. Everybody look at me. You know what I mean? Just as simple as that.
That's right. Oop.
Yeah, I for one, like because my wife knows I hate going to places where a lot of people are. Like I tell her, it gives me anxiety. Like I don't like it's like what they call it, Chuck E. Cheese's and all that. I hate going, but I go because I need to go. But like me, like you said, you got to remain cool, calm, and collect. Because I'm always like scoping the scene out a bit. I'm like, all right, who's in here? What does does that person look like? They might be a child predator. Where are my kids? Like, I'm always just the whole time I'm examining what's going on. Like I might talk, the dads and whatnot, but most of the time I'm just there I feel like like I'm security. That's how I behave when I'm out with my family. And I would say I don't drink anymore, but it's probably better to be sober. And I'm not knocking anybody that goes out and drinks with the family, but because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and I think you need to be as alert as possible. And like if anything does happen, you want to be at your A game, because I tried fighting drunk before and it didn't turn out too well.
I guess I'll take this in a little bit of a different direction. So I was just thinking of like, so like typically when you're out in public, you're doing something like recreational with your family, right? Or something to that effect. You're going out to dinner, or you're going bowling, or whatever, some shit like that, or you're on vacation. I think one of the things that I've tried to keep in mind with that kind of stuff is like whenever we do something like that, when it's time to go, I don't know. I guess I keep things tight financially all the time. And then when we go do something like that, like if we're out and we're eating dinner as a family, like I'm not looking at what you're pulling off the menu. Like we're there to like enjoy ourselves, and we're there to and I don't want every time we go out to be like, well, we're going on vacation, but we can't do anything because I already paid for this stuff. And so I will kind of like loosen the purse strings when it's time to do that sort of thing, and we'll just like decide, okay, yeah, we're going to go on that little boat ride. We're going to actually take that trip. We're going to go take that snorkeling trip off the coast and go spend the extra money. I'm going to hate it when I get back in 2 weeks and I get the bill and I have to like do it. But while we're here, I'm going to let y'all enjoy the moment, because this is the kind of stuff that, like, when you're grown up and everything, you're going to remember these things. And I don't want the memories that you have to be like, Dad never let us do anything. He was tight as hell. And we were on vacation and we couldn't even, go parasailing or do white people activities, we couldn't even go snorkeling or whatever. I guess that's a white people activity. I don't know. We did that in Jamaica. So there were black people doing it. But anyway, that sort of thing, where like getting out of that everyday, day in, day out, like, let me make sure that we can, because what I'm doing most of the time when I'm doing that year round is I'm saving money so that we can have some nice things, do some nice things on special occasions. What I don't want to do is turn special occasions into some shit that everybody's like mad because they feel like I'm holding back, So, and I think that a lot of times can give like an air of peace and like that your family's happy and they're enjoying themselves when you're out in public. So,
okay. For me, it's like when I'm out with my family, I like to look like the security, like Secret Service. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like to look dangerously calm. You know what I'm saying? Like approachable, but also not approachable. I want to look like I'm a danger, but not a danger. For some reason, I feel like when you're in public, too many men, you can see the stress on their face, or, you can see the overwhelming concern, right? Or the worry and all these things. And there's just something about the way that, like a Secret Serviceman holds themselves. They just look like they ain't worried at all. They got this. And I think that men should really carry themselves like that. I like to carry myself like that. I also like to hear men who know how to project their voice. I mean, in the trades, I come across husbands with their wives all the time. And how many men, they don't talk clear enough. They don't sound decisive enough. They don't look like they're very sure, or they're really hunched over and look like they're enclosed on themselves. And I just feel like if you're out there as a man, especially as a father, you should represent that statue, that great statue, that unmovable object that is also inviting to those who mean peace to you. So I see what Chad means. I definitely want people to not look at, me and go, is that nigga even having fun? You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Right?
There you go.
Right.
There you
I
go.
smile and all that, but at the same time, if you're a danger present, I'm not trying to look like you're soft target.
Like a porcupine. Like, I'm all cuddly and fun.
Exactly.
But if you get too close or you threaten anything, you're gonna have quills up your ass.
Exactly. 100%. Man, y'all stand up straight. These dudes out here just be hunched over, like, it's stand up straight, like you proud of yourself and what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? It carries a long way. So that's definitely what I feel, not only a father, but a man, how he should handle himself in public. Out of all the many things we could probably name, I feel like those are some of the most important ones.
Yeah.
But let's get that next question down. So this one came from my wife, actually. She asked me 2 questions to ask y'all. So this one is what is the best thing your girlfriend or wife can do to help you grow as a father? And so we'll start, Chad, and work our way to do.
Yeah, I saw you had this one. I didn't really think about it much, and I got to be honest, I'm kind of at a lot. What can she do? I mean, I think the biggest thing is just to be observant and to check. So I would like for it to be, if you want to check me on some shit, do it in private, not in front of the kids. Because one thing that you have to do as a husband and wife, mom and dad duo, is there has to be a united front in front of the kids. Otherwise, they will know that it's very easy to divide and conquer, and they will run roughshod over you if you aren't like a unit. Now, you can have some disagreements about like, that's too harsh, or that's too, let them do this, or no, you're being too lenient. You need to, nip that in the bud. Okay, cool. But we're gonna have that discussion separately, privately. You can say, even if you want to say, hey, can y'all give us a minute? Y'all leave the room. We need to talk about this. And then we could do that. Like it's a business negotiation or something like that. Let me talk to my business partner here before we sign off on this contract. Where you want to go? You said you want to spend the night where? And what? Who else is going to be there? That kind of thing. Because it's always good to have iron sharpening iron. But what you don't want to do is have that I don't know, slag and shrapnel flying around in the room in front of everybody, where you're getting called out for some stuff that maybe your wife thinks you could do better. Well, okay, cool. Talk to me about that privately. Right now, we're going to do this. And if some shit happens, it happens, and then we can talk about it later. But let's not do that in front of the kids. That's the biggest thing. But I don't mind. I want to be. I want to get some feedback from her on, am I doing this right? Was I too harsh? Was I not harsh enough? And make sure that I'm making sure that the kids are respecting her, that I'm not undermining her or overriding something that she's already kind of given her edict, her verdict on, that kind of thing.
Okay. Cannon?
The main thing, I mean, what Chad said is spot on, but the main thing for me is, and I think it can go for both the mother and the father, or your wife or your girlfriend. Let each other vent to each other. Ask if you are, hey, you good today? Everything okay? Because that's one main thing about being a parent, man. Sometimes you go through a lot of shit throughout the day and you get home and you ain't let that shit go before you walk through the front door. And it might come out, you might lash out at the kids or your wife. Not saying beat them or some shit. You might be a little more, your voice might be a little more raised or a little more, just combative. You know what I mean? So let vent to each other, tell each other about their day. Ask, hey, how was your day? Hey, everything okay? You look like something's bothering you. You know what I mean? And feel comfortable enough to just let it out with your significant other. That does wonders. So you don't, take that frustration out on your family. You know what I mean? There's been a couple of times where I just had a bad day, and my son, like I said, he relentless with it. He's like, daddy, hey, daddy, hey, daddy. But that, I'm like, Hunter, chill. You know what I mean? Give me a minute. I just came through the front door. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it helps a lot when trying to navigate your kids' issues when you resolve yours.
Okay. Okay. Dude.
They basically the big thing, like they just said, but I'll say the word is communication. It's how you two communicate. And some guys, they marry contentious women, and I didn't, which is a good thing. So we when we first got together, we didn't communicate well, and that always led to strife in the relationship. But as we've grown together, it's we learn to communicate with each other, like you said, your feelings, like how your day was. So I make sure I ask her how her day is throughout the day and when she gets home. So that way, because over text message, you only getting so much. But she needs to be able to say a lot more. And when she's talking, I'm listening, not just in my phone, which I will say I've done that sometimes, but I'm not just in my phone. I'm showing her that I'm paying attention to what she's saying. And then if we are having discussions and we come to an agreement, that sometimes I do this to her. I say to her, I'll be like, because sometimes we're quick to respond, and I'll be like, yo, listen to what I'm saying. I said, listen, not to respond. Listen to what I'm saying, and then go away. I mean, not go away. Dang, go ahead.
Freudian slip there. Huh?
But no, go ahead. And so as we've been together long, we're learning to do with that, and then I'm learning now to come with her with issues that I have, because she's good about doing that. Let me know her issues, but I was the one that I wanted to bear all the weight and all the trouble, and then I'm suffering in silence trying to figure out when she has the answer. Sometimes I don't have all the answers, because I also feel like withholding information is just as bad as lying. If you withhold this information from your wife, when you're struggling in the area, I think that's as bad as lying to her. So just keep those open and honest doors of communication.
Okay. Before I answer this one, I'm gonna answer the last one. The dishes. I'm just kidding. Really, for me, and I say this because this is what helps me, is let me know when I'm being too harsh. I'm a real serious guy, and I feel like for us men out there who take everything seriously, sometimes we can just come across really rough and harsh to the people we love, and I do feel like there's an acceptable level of that, but sometimes we definitely hold a heavier hand, and it's always good to have somebody who loves you in your corner that's saying, hey, you don't have to be so harsh in this time. She or he's going through it. They could use you in this capacity over that capacity. Even if you're not willing to do that, just knowing that you have that kind of communication really does change the whole landscape and makes it easier for you to be the best father, because that's something that I struggle with that. Man, I'm telling you right now, sometimes I don't know how I sound to other people. And it took my wife and mother actually to tell me, you don't know what it's like hearing you when you sound upset, when you sound a certain way. And I really do feel like that's important for us men to keep that at the forefront. But Jason asked us, he said, as a father, which is more important to instill, discipline or loyalty? Is loyalty a byproduct of one being disciplined to oneself? And I'm going to just go ahead and say it's discipline, and discipline will bleed into everything else. You teach your child discipline and they will eventually understand loyalty, because you have to be calm enough to understand loyalty. You got to be ready. If you're too emotional, you won't understand any concept. But if you learn discipline first, then it makes all those other concepts easier to learn, if that answers your question from my perspective.
And you'll be less likely to be susceptible to being super loyal to someone who's not disciplined themselves, and it's just going to get you in trouble. Right. So that's right. One of the things that a lot of us get in trouble with is we'll have friends that we feel like we can't let them down because we're loyal to them and we're loyal to a fault, and we let them get us into trouble by just trying to not let them down, and they don't give a shit about letting you down because they're not disciplined. So sometimes you gotta just let them go. And if you start with that discipline, you'll surround yourself with disciplined people.
Facts. More than the greatest lesson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get that next question down.
All right.
So this is the last question before we just kind of open it up for our riff. What is one character trait you hope your child takes from you, and one you hope they don't? Duke?
All right, I'll start. Recently, I'm a preface it. Recently, I learned what it meant when people were calling me lazy. Because like at work, people call me lazy, and I'm like, how am I lazy? I'm doing my job. Like I'm doing what I'm called to do. And then like recently, my basically what I've learned is lazy wasn't that I wasn't doing my job. It's having the ability to do extra and not doing it. And so now I'm getting myself to where I want, like, if I'm tired, I'm doing things that I need to do, even though I don't want to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are things I'm trying to instill in my kids now. And so I'm learning. So they're going through it at the same time I'm going through it, but they're going through it at a younger age. And because I don't want them to pick up that laziness, because I've seen them, some of those traits, they've seen me like lounge around a little too much. I see them doing the same. And I don't want that to be their life, because I know it leads to bad places financially, spiritually, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And why go through that if you don't have to? And a trait, let's say a trait you hope your kids take up. That plus I can be like I like helping people. Like my daughter, she's already picked it up. My son, he's a little bit more like, I want them to be like that, where so you do good just for the sake of doing good and not doing it because you'll get something from it. So I hope they pick that up for me as well.
Okay. Tanner?
So I guess one trait that I want my kids to take from me is I'm what you call, well, I say it myself, I'm a figure outer, right? So like I got electronics engineering degree. I won't let shit go until I figure that shit out. Right? Like I just said, we didn't have no air conditioning. I wasn't about to pay $1,300, $1,500 to get it fixed. So I was like, I should be able to figure this stuff out. And I figured it out. Air conditioning is pumping right now. You know, same thing with my job. I can figure things out. I run a desk, I run a service desk, but at the same time, I'm doing other, like Duke was saying, I'm doing other responsibilities that aren't my responsibility, but I do them because I enjoy figuring things out and doing them. Right? Like they had me heading up the bridge collapse for the key bridge. Right? They called me. I'm like, yo, we need you at the command center, because they knew that I would figure out all of the logistics on how to get all these agencies to be able to get on network and stuff like that. So as far as like my I guess being mechanically inclined, electronically inclined, you know, I can computer savvy, I guess you would say, or IT savvy, I would love for my kids to pick that, figure it out on my own thing up. You know what I mean? The one thing I don't want my kids to get is my anxiety. Holy smokes, because that's the only my anxiety is what allows me to figure this shit out at work. You know what I mean? My anxiety won't let me let it go.
Double-edged sword.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I can figure this all out, because my anxiety ain't going to let me let this problem go. If I don't figure the problem out that day, I'm home with it.
You won't be able to sleep. Yeah.
Right. And now I'm like, I wake up like Eureka and I go to work and figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that anxiety portion, I don't want my kids to have that, because it's like you said, it's a double-edged sword. It's torture sometimes to have it, you know. So I just hope like my son doesn't have none of that. My son might be the most stable person in the house, I think. You know what I mean? Because he lets nothing bother him at all. He just shrugs it all off and keeps it moving, you know. But that's the one thing I don't want my kids to have, is that anxiety and introvertedness. Like, because I'm an introvert. I don't like doing a whole lot of shit outside of my norm. If it's outside of my norm, I'm uncomfortable. I'm on alert. I got my back against the wall just in case some shit go down. Like, I don't like it. You know what I mean? But I don't want my kids to look like that always. You know, I want them to be alert and be attentive, but I don't want them to sacrifice having fun, always being on edge. I don't want that for them.
All right. Chad?
What you said about figuring stuff out, it's interesting. Y'all have this with your kids? Maybe Trey, you might not. Your daughter's probably too young, but like when you get to where you have kids that are old enough, you know, they're teenagers or even like just before teen, they can figure shit out when they want to, but when they don't want to, they want you to do it. They don't know how to do a damn thing. Like, I don't know how to reset the router. Like, I bet you if it was to get Minecraft to whatever, you know, like some dumb shit that, like, my son will have like 15 different mods things where he's like rewriting the program for like some shit. He's got like all these different things that he's downloaded and everything, so he can like modify some shit. He'll have all that stuff figured out, but then he'll be like, yeah, I can't get my school laptop to work. I'm like, bullshit.
Right.
My ass, you can't get it. You don't want to.
That's
what going on here.
Exactly.
You're full of shit.
Right.
But
you know, broken the NASA, but you can't figure out how to
exactly.
do it.
Exactly. That's right. So the traits that I would want them to have and not want them to have, I'm kind of like Duke. Like I love to help people. I have like I think, I don't know, there's just like something where like my compassion makes me, when I see someone that needs something, I'm just kind of drawn to I feel like it's my duty to help them out. And it kind of goes back to that question we had before about, you know, are other kids your responsibility? Like you got to take care of your own first. But yeah, like I do feel like a connection beyond just myself and my immediate circle that I need to be present for. But so I want them to have that. I think that's a positive trait to carry, and I think the whole world is better if everybody is kind of thinking in those ways, a little more selfless. What I don't want them to have is, I guess the flip side of that is like I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, and I have like a really bad temper. I let shit get to me too much. When it's like I think it's probably because I'm like that. I I don't know, like emotionally attuned to like what other people are going through.
Yeah.
That I'm also like, I get really pissed off if like no, look, I figured this shit out. Like, I don't need y'all to go reanalyze it for me. Everything I do is for a reason. Why are you questioning? You know, and so I can like fly off the handle on some dumb shit. If somebody does something stupid, I you know, be like, the hell were you thinking? And then I will be like you were saying, Trey, before. Like, am I being too harsh? Yes, is always the answer. A lot of times I don't have to ask the question. I just get like, Chad, stop. You're going too far. Let up. So that's the thing. I would want them to have a little bit more of a calm. It's temper. I don't know. Impatience maybe is more of the thing. Like stupid people going slow on the road, like all this kind of shit, like just bugs the hell out of me. And it like I have to like dial myself down so that I don't let it get to me, because then it gets me off my square and I'm not being who I need to be. So.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, that's another thing that probably is kind of, my son has it already, and I see it. Is I'm an empathetic person, so it's like it's like almost like I can feel people's energy when they down and stuff like that, and it'll drag me down a lot because I'm trying to figure them out and trying to help them, but in turn, it's taking a toll on me.
Yes,
I see my son picking up on people's energy all the time. You know what I mean? Now it doesn't take him down because, like I said, you know, I guess that's the part of him being on the spectrum. He just shrugs that shit off, you know what I mean? You know, but like that's the one thing I think I'm like, yo, I hope they don't get like, it's nothing wrong with being empathetic, you know, but when you get to the point where it drains you, I just hope my kids can delineate from that. You know, I'd rather them have sympathy than empathy a lot of the times.
You know? Right. Yeah. You know, for me, I have a habit I've always had where if I get focused on one thing, nothing else matters. I'm just doing that one thing, period. And I'll forget about almost every other thing while I focus on this. And I want my daughter to pick up that trait. I want her to be able to have snap laser focus for things that she finds important. But I'm going to tell you what, one trait I don't want her to have. That's right. Get your flow. Get your flow. We're going to have the description up after the live is up. It's going to have the links in there. Anyway. The one thing that I don't want her to have is I don't want her to be a smart ass know-it-all like I am. That my mom, she used to tell me this thing that she pretty much told me till I was like 25, which was like, nobody likes a smart ass. She's been telling me that all my life because I'm so focused, I'll learn something, but then I'll become a smart ass. You know what I'm saying? And then people, they just don't take kindly to that. And I'm raising a daughter and nobody likes a smart ass woman. And I don't want her. She already acts a lot like me right now. So I don't want her to be a smart ass when she gets older. I want her to be able to, I want to have a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to be a little more humble with her intelligence and the things that she's capable of. I'm working on that. I am working on that. But sometimes, you know, even with people close to me, it's one of my bigger faults is if somebody says something wrong, I start, you know what I'm saying? I start doing them like Shaka, like you're not historically literate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I act. And I don't want her to carry that on from me at all. That's why I'm trying to do my best to work through that, because as she gets older, that's going to be more of a thing she's going to have to deal with. And I can already tell she's a Virgo too, Ken, and she's a Virgo within the same week. You know what I'm saying? She's got that same focus type attitude. She organizes everything in her room. You know, I'll go in there and everything is lined up meticulously. And this is a not even 3-year-old yet we're talking about. So I already see what I'm gonna be looking forward to. So I'm trying my best to not sound like a smart ass so that she doesn't pick up on that and pass that on. So
fun fact, me and Strong Dad share the same birthday.
That's right.
Oh, let's go. Okay. All right.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, my dad used to say it all the time because I used to do the same thing when I was a kid. I know, Dad. I know. I already know. And he'd be like, "Shut up! Nobody likes a smart, dumb person.
Yeah.
Only dumb people who think they know everything." And he always say that. So now I'm not so quick to say I know it. I'll listen and hear it all because it might be some shit I don't know. And it's fared well for me in life. Whereas though, like even though I think I know it, I'll shut up and I'll fall back and listen some more. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't think about that perspective. Let me try that.
See, I've actually fought with the opposite. Like I have, or not, maybe not the opposite, but like my response to it, I guess, was incorrect and was opposite to that. I felt like a sense of insecurity about, like, if there was some stuff people were talking about and I didn't know, I didn't want to let them know that I didn't know. And so I would just like pretend like I knew, but it actually made me dumber, because then like I'm not asking the question to like understand better. And so then I go through, then you get through that phase, and it's like getting passed through kindergarten, but you didn't take the work seriously and you shouldn't be in first grade.
Right.
And then next thing you know, like I'm in sixth grade and I should still be in kindergarten because I've just been like bullshitting my way through it, you know? And so like I've had to take some lumps with stuff like that. And, you know, I never went the George O'Leary. You remember that dude? He was like a coach for Notre Dame for a minute.
Yeah.
And then they found out that he was full of shit and he had lied about all his stuff on his resume. Like, I didn't go that route, you know, but no, like I've struggled with that a lot, where it's like this, when you feel like you should know something, you're too embarrassed to like tell people like, oh man, I don't know what you're talking about. You fill me in, you know? And so it's way better than being found out to be a fraud later, you know, if you just ask that question. So
that's right.
Well,
listen, y'all. What, you was about to say something?
Yes, I don't mind telling people I don't know. They be like, how'd you know that? I'm like, oh, YouTube that shit.
Yeah.
YouTube University, boy.
Yeah.
I won't even try. I won't even let myself get there. I'll learn it just because I feel like somebody might quiz me on it. Mm-hmm. That way I can act like I know that shit all the way through. And that's a bad habit, I feel like, but also a good habit in a way. Mm-hmm. But you know, before we head out, I just want to ask y'all. I personally don't believe in regrets. Having regrets, you make a decision and you live by it for the rest of your life. But for the sake of the question, if you could go back to your younger self and tell them one thing, just one thing, what would you tell them?
Invest in Microsoft.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Apple. Yeah.
Amazon.
I would have told myself, don't put too much stock in people. I think I would have told myself in high school, don't put too much stock in people and friends. Get what you got to get done. You know? Now, do I regret anything? No, because let's just say I did go D1 and I made the NFL or whatever. I wouldn't have my family probably. I wouldn't have my kids and I wouldn't have my wife. So things work out the way the Lord works them out for you. You know what I mean? Facts. But at the same time, there are some things that I could have did better. You know what I mean? Back in the day. And that's all I would tell myself is they don't invest too much in people. Invest more in yourself and keep people at arm's length. You know, it's cool to have associates, you know, but don't put too much stock in them.
Dude.
Yeah, I would say I kind of hit on it earlier, but my biggest problem most of my life is not going above and beyond. Take an extra step. Like I said, I've been looking back over my life, and that was one of the things that's got me into the worst situations. Like, do extra, and two, don't be a coward, because there were a lot of things I didn't do in life because of fear, wondering, all right, what would people think? How would this be received? Am I going, if I do this, will I look stupid? I would have done a lot of things differently if I would have just tried it. You know what I mean? So I would say, don't be a coward and go do extra, to go above and beyond.
All right. What about you, Chad?
I mean, I kind of feel like what Kenan said is where I was going already anyway, with like, I find it hard to really be like, because I don't know if I would, you know, those movies that you see where they upset the space-time continuum by going back and try to change the past. Yeah. I felt like I would fuck everything up. Like I think things are pretty good. Right. And it's not to say that there's not some some scar tissue, some wounds, and some things like that I've gotten along the way. But even those things, I feel like I don't know if I would be right here having this conversation with y'all and then about to go like grill some steaks for my family after this, and my kids, you know, one in college, one about to be in college, and they're like all like full rides and like, you know, straight A's in school, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, like, what am I going to be like the, you know, Biff Tannen in the Vegas, you know, high rise or whatever with like, you know, all this other stuff and a wife with fake tits and all, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like, I don't know that I would tell myself anything that would possibly screw up this. The only thing I would maybe say is like because I've just started to realize this, that a lot of times my wife and I have just wondered, like, why is it that like we watch people, like we do all the right things. We actually like, we'll let people take advantage of us sometimes because we're not the people who are going to be like an asshole to somebody just to assert ourselves. You know, like I'll assert myself, but if you're the asshole and you're like trying to take from me, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'd rather side on, you know, giving you the benefit of the doubt and maybe I get taken advantage of than to be the person who's like stingy with myself to the point that like people can't stand me, don't want to be around me. Yeah. So what I would tell myself maybe is don't get hung up on the fact that doesn't result in you being rich and wealthy and famous and all this other kind of stuff that maybe you thought was important before. Because we used to always look at like, well, how does look at them? Like we know he's cheating on his wife. We know that they're doing this. We know that they scammed the insurance company for this. We knew some people who were like, they were like not claiming all this income from art and stuff. And they were on Medicaid and welfare. And they're like, we're living in like $1 million house. You know what I mean? Like this kind of shit. Like, do you really want that to be your life? Like, do you want to, would you be able to sleep like that? No. Like, well, then don't worry about it because there's greater rewards beyond this that I focus on now that are not of this material world. And so not letting myself get caught up in maybe seeing that stuff and kind of like almost get mad at God. Like, why aren't, you know, I'm doing the things you want me to do, God, why aren't you taking care of me better? Yeah. Kind of thing. And instead thinking of it from the standpoint of, I look at some of the greatest saints in the history of the world, and they were like tortured and murdered. So like, I think I got it pretty good. Yeah. And maybe I'm not good enough to deserve being like tortured and beheaded. So maybe I should shut the hell up and stop complaining. That's what I would tell myself.
I would tell myself to ask for help, to ask for help from the beginning all the way until, you know, my later teen years and until right up until I got incarcerated. You know, my whole life, I've gone through bad things in my life, never asked for help once. And then that translated into behaviors that I could never accept. And then eventually I became, you know, just a danger and got locked up because of it. And I really do feel like I chose not to ask for help, even though everyone in my life offered it, asked me if I was okay. You know, I have a really loving family, a really open family who always reached out to me because I'm the oldest grandchild. You know, I'm the oldest, everything. Me so too. Yeah, it's like, you know, the focus has always been on me. And I think maybe that focus is why I never asked anybody for help. But I would definitely tell myself to ask for help because there's a lot of circumstances in life that I wouldn't have had to deal with. But unfortunately, it really is unfortunate that I had to, you know, be a criminal and be violent in order to get to where I am now. Because, you know, like Chad said, like, you know, Marty McFly been told you go back and change one thing and everything changes. And that's kind of how, you know, I view it. I can't go back and ask for help because then I won't get incarcerated. You know, I wouldn't have my daughter today. But if I was actually to do so with no ramifications besides good, it would definitely be ask motherfuckers for help, man. Stop suffering in silence. Suffering in silence destroys you from the inside out and makes it harder for you to be there for other people. So that's something that I would definitely do. But first of all, thank y'all for coming. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for being here with the dad panel. Strong Dad June has been amazing. Strong Dad June has been amazing. We didn't trend as hard as we did last year. You know, I do feel like it's because of the cycle that we're in right now, and you know the woke right is getting real rough out there. So it's been a lot harder for us to trend against stuff like that. But I really do appreciate everybody who actually took the time to share or listen or add to the messages of Strong Dad June. Next year, there will be Strong Dad June, and the year after that, remember, it's a lifelong process. And so with that in mind, stay strong, stay humble, but most of all, Hotep and build, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Hotep and build.
Can I say something before we?
You can't say nothing.
All right. Well, then I just, so like when this started off for this year, I shared it with a group of people, and there were some questions about like, because with the all the other stuff, there's a tendency for like, I don't know, degeneracy and other stuff that other people are getting caught up in to be like an opportunity for us to be tempted by our own pride, our own jealousy, or our own anger, wrath, whatever, all these different things that can kind of stir us up and get us off where we need to be. And so, there were some questions about whether Strong Dad June was a good idea because maybe it's just in response to something else. And I just want to say that having this group, having this panel here, I'm grateful for the fact that these four men, myself included, but especially these three guys who are here with me, that we came together to just kind of like open ourselves up and to not. I think there's a lot of, in like the red pill manosphere space, a lot of people bullshitting their way through like rah rah rah. Oh, you don't talk to bitches. What, I don't know, whatever dumb shit they want to say about like how men are superior to women, so they act like retards. And I just to know that we can sit here and we can talk about like what is really important and not be reactionary to any of that other stuff, but also not be tempted to puff our chests out like we got it all figured out, but instead to just like come together as a group of men who can actually like lean on each other and talk to each other and kind of bounce some of these ideas off of each other. It's very, it's nice. It's fulfilling. It's good to be a part of, and I'm grateful for, especially you, Trey, for setting this up, but for Duke and Cannon as well. Absolutely for joining us and contributing to this conversation.
Hell yeah. Definitely remember, this is not in juxtaposition to, all of the bullshit that everybody complains about. We do this because it's important to do this. And that's what that's what distinguishes us as dads from the rest of the manosphere and everybody else. They do these things to put themselves at odds against the things they don't like or the things they don't, respect or, whatever. Yeah. We don't do it like that. You should never live your life to be in juxtaposition to something else. You should be living and acting in a certain way because it is the way that, because it is the right way, the Mandalorian way. It's that they don't exist because evil exists. They exist because they must exist. And that's why we do this too also. So I feel you on that, Chad.
Yeah. Well, you just become the flip side of the evil too. If you are, you are juxtaposing yourself to, and you're letting that be the leader. And what are you, and to what end? The end that we are pointed at is, and I know it's all different. We all have our own faiths and different things like that. But I think that ultimately the end that we are pointed towards is like eternity and the fulfilling the design that we were created for. And so if that's where we're pointed, then all that other stuff doesn't even matter.
That's right.
We're just here doing this.
That's right. Anything closing before we head out, y'all?
No, I appreciate it. I enjoyed this talk, man. This was a great talk, and I hope people go back and replay. Make sure y'all in the chat, y'all retweet this out. Y'all repost this, let people see that we was live and what we were talking about. This is an important talk that a lot of men out here need to hear. You know, like y'all said, there's too many guys out here taking advice from dummies, these simps, these guys out here that they're running from the responsibility of fatherhood, and they out here trying to tell you how to treat women because they got a vendetta against women because in high school they couldn't get one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, you need to come holler at real ones that tell you how it is out here. So this was a fantastic talk, and you guys retweet it, repost it, hit the like button on the way out.
Yeah. Subscribe to the Strong Dad channel.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for having me, first and foremost. And to the dads listening, don't be afraid to reach out. I know a lot of times us guys, we don't reach out. We don't, like I said earlier, we like to bear the burden in silence alone. We think we can handle it alone, but a lot of times we can't. And if you ever need advice, you can come ask us. Or if you feel like you want to talk to somebody in person, find you somebody you can trust close to you, and ask him questions. I'm pretty sure if you have to determine you recognize that he's a good man, that he will listen to you. He will give you his time, whether that's 30 minutes or 3 hours, and he'll embed in you the wisdom that he has. And I'm willing to do that if I have the time. I can't speak for these guys, but I'm pretty sure they'll do what they can. So don't be afraid to reach out for help and advice.
Hell
And
yeah.
we don't have it all figured out, so don't hesitate to reach out if you got some ideas that we might be able
Oh, that too.
We can use the advice too.
Yeah. And if you feel like I'm wrong on something, you feel like you correct me, come to, I ain't gonna lie, to come to me in private, because if I might not receive it the same way online. And
That's a
come to
fact.
me respectful, because like I don't curse, but I don't mind people curse, but I can tell when somebody's coming to me like they think I'm an idiot or less than, and I will just block or mute. So come respectfully, come humbly, and I'm open and willing to listen and give advice.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all. Get your asses in the gym. Know what I'm saying? Get your Apex, get your flow. Visit menoforder.com. Put the Apex and the flow up there. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I gotta turn it around. There we go.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And most of all, happy Strong Dad June, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.